Hey guys, so I didn't write a script for today's video, nor did I do anything like that or even really think about what I would say before this video. So it's gonna be very rambly, like extremely so. But for this piece, I'm using colored pencil, and then later on you'll see I'm using watercolor. This piece is basically this kind of like vintage girly on the phone with like someone she loving. And that's why there's all that like abstract hearts and like flowing all around her, because that's supposed to be like the energy that's kind of exhuming from this phone call. I really wanted this piece to have more of an abstract side because I really love pieces that have that. And it's something I definitely do gravitate towards a lot when I make my own pieces. But yeah, you'll definitely see some skip aheads in this video because I couldn't record, or I forgot to record, and I recorded with my phone, so if my phone's about to die, I'm not able to record. Sorry guys, because I don't have as long as a charger. I'll have to invest in that. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this with colored pencil. I don't know why I don't use colored pencil like anymore. I feel like I've become such a lazy artist with like my painting and only doing stuff on my sketchbook. That's why I've been wanting to do more pieces outside of it because it's so much more freeing. But yeah, I decided to use colored pencil for this piece just as like the vibes. I want it to be very like softer. And when I use colored pencil, it tends to have more of like a softer appearance compared to painting. Probably because colored pencil I blend it a lot more than with my painting. As you know, if you've seen my artwork, my paints and like my gouache portraits and stuff are very blocky, not really blended at all, which makes sense because I'm using gouache, not something like oils. But yeah, so I really love the delicacy of the colored pencil and what it brings to the illustration. I honestly don't know why I don't use it more often. Like, it's just so beautiful, and I love the way I can put colors on top of one another and really just make it kind of sing. And there's something so satisfying about only having a couple colored pencil and then blending them and putting them on top of one another to create whole different shades. And then with painting, you don't really get that, at least with my gouache, because it's more of a opaque paint. And I've been kind of missing that. I kind of try to do it with my watercolor pieces, but I just find it becomes like kind of like dirtied and muddied. And with colored pencil, I have such an easier time kind of handling how I want the color to appear. And I'm just like more used to it. I kind of think of using colored pencils as like a printer almost, where I'm like, okay, it has to be this color, and then this on top, and then this on top to get it to the shade that I desire. And this hand, I really like how this hand turned out with the underside, which you guys can't see anymore, but the underside of it, I think it looks really good with the different colors that I put on it. But yeah, with my colored pencil pieces, usually I only use a yellow and then two pinks, usually pink slash red. One of them just like a regular red, and then another one the pink, and then a purple and a blue. That's all I used for this piece, except for her eyes. I did actually use a green colored pencil. Oh, and yeah, I used a white colored pencil too, of course, to help with kind of the blending. I prefer my colored pencil pieces to be a little bit more unblended, which is why it's not like extremely blended. It's kind of, you can see the texture of this. I also did this piece not on colored pencil paper. I did it on watercolor. I really love the texture. Gosh, I can't speak, the texture that watercolor paper creates. It's just so beautiful. Watercolor paper creates, it's just such a beautiful texture. And I'm really not a fan of really blended colored pencil pieces, at least for my artwork. Definitely, I don't think any artwork that has that really blended look looks bad. But with my artwork, I definitely really like to hone into different textures that the materials can create. So yeah, that's why I decided to use watercolor pencil. And also, of course, I'm doing watercolors later on, so it was kind of a combination of those two. But with the piece, I think the part that I'm most unsatisfied with is probably her hair. I really am someone who gets to the hair and kind of puts in like a half-hearted attempt. I find it much more difficult to do hair than doing like faces and skin and like hands. Honestly, I get to the hair and I'm like, ugh, this. So I definitely didn't put the most effort into it. And I think I'm missing one of like the color pencils I used. It's like this darker blue, like Prussian blue maybe. I don't know exactly what it's called. That I used to get really dark shades of like basically black. And I was having a really hard time to build up the color with the colored pencils to get a really dark shade like that. So that's why her hair isn't like extremely dark, and that's why it's like more purple than black. But yeah, I'm going to a nearby city tomorrow actually to pick up my boyfriend from the airport because he's flying in, and we don't have an art store in the town closest to me. So I'm gonna be shopping before I pick him up, and I'm gonna get myself some more colored pencils and some more paints and just some more supplies in general so I can have a more fun experience doing this. But yeah, gosh, I really like how her face turned out. It's definitely not perfect. Her like mouth is a little too small. In the initial sketch that you guys saw at the beginning, her mouth did have a wider look. And then when I was doing her face, I accidentally like closed it a bit. So she's a kind of like she got kind of a small mouth. It's not necessarily like her lips are small. They're really not. But it's just like how much teeth is showing. She should be showing more teeth with the kind of smile I'm attempting to give. But yeah, I really like how much blush I put on her. At first I was like maybe I'm overdoing it. But then I thought about it and I was like, fuck no. Hell no. I'm going to do whatever I want really and just really have fun with her facial, I don't know, blushing to really exaggerate it. Oh, another part I'm kind of proud of is his phone. I really don't draw people interacting with objects. So this phone was pretty fun to do. I think it looks a little bit wonky, but I thought it was fun. And I really like how it kind of goes into her dress. I really like doing that in my artwork recently, where the dress kind of fades into something else. Oh, and here I realized that I totally forgot to oh gosh, I totally forgot to film the like abstract watercolor process, and I was really upset about that cuz I was so excited to look back and see how beautiful it looks. That's definitely one of my favorite parts about recording videos is doing time lapses and seeing like it kind of come together even though it's my own artwork and I was there the entire time. It's just so fun to like look back and be like, "Oh, that's ugh, gosh, I just love it so much." But here I'm just kind of doing the final touches. And then yeah, here it's just like the little clips of it showing. But yeah, here's the final piece. Hopefully you guys like it. I'm gonna try to do more pieces like this in the future that I really are passionate about and that just give me so much joy to create. But if you guys like this video, comment, like, and subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching.